There we go. A very good evening. The somehow internet doesn't show as being very strong. I hope you can hear me. Let's have a look. Hello, everybody. Can anybody just let me know? Well, it should be okay now. Can somebody let me know whether you can actually hear me and see me? This would be helpful. And then we can get started with a interesting and encouraging YouTube show. So yes, okay, you can hear me, you can see me. Marvelous. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining. It's really interesting. So many people are watching these shows at their leisure, and their leisure is not on a Tuesday when I'm broadcasting it. So I was just checking. There are like 30, 40, 50 people on the show, and a few days later, it's 500 who watch the show. So this is wonderful. It's so, so nice to have you all here. And let's just have a look what's going on and how we can bring more Reiki into the world. Let me see if I can do that. I've got something really exciting behind me. This is my big mirror. And I'm using that as a what is it called? Some kind of mood board or so at the moment, because I'm working on a new online course, and I am just about to start filming it this week, and it's very, very exciting. It's about Reiki and crystal healing, or not Reiki and crystal healing, but actually how to combine the two. And after I've been running a live workshop in London, this will be the next step to make that an online course. So hopefully in, say, 4 to 6 weeks, it should be finished. And then I really look forward to sharing it. And it's so wonderful. It's amazing to see you, to see people who haven't been here for a while. People are completely new. People are returning. This is great. It's a real community, and this is very important. Reiki is just so, so amazing. I've just been teaching Reiki 2 course at the weekend, and quite frankly, I was really quite overwhelmed by the feedback there as well. It is just absolutely fabulous. It's phenomenal to get this tangibility of Reiki. I just love that we don't have to believe in it. In fact, I think it's much more fun if we give Reiki to somebody who does not believe in it, and then they are, well, normally they end up as a convert. And I think that's so, so nice. Reiki doesn't work any better if somebody believes in it. Really, it works for anybody. So as long as people agree to have a Reiki treatment, no matter how reluctantly, but as long as they give their consent to receiving a Reiki treatment, then Reiki will just work. And there's nothing about our belief. I believe in energy. Well, I kind of do think that complementary therapies work. I'm quite spiritual or something like that. None of that matters. Reiki works anyway. And I think this is just so, so amazing. Well, today is about giving a Reiki treatment. And Reiki is very much a spiritual path, a journey, an incredible tool for our lives. When we start learning it, we really get on this journey, on this path, and we go deeper and deeper, and we have the most extraordinary experiences. We look at life in different ways. We look at ourselves in different ways, and we, well, make some more sense of the world, but also we have a tool to bring more positivity, more love, more healing into the world. So I think Reiki is incredibly powerful, but for many, many people, Reiki starts with receiving a Reiki treatment. And of course, Reiki is now pretty mainstream. Reiki is accepted in hospitals all over the world, whether it's Berlin's University Hospital in Germany, whether it is the NHS, the National Health Service in the UK, whether it is over 800 hospitals in the United States. So it really becomes more and more mainstream, and that is amazing. But when we give a Reiki treatment, what do we need to consider? And this is really what the show today is all about. And I have made some notes. So just to make sure that I do everything properly. But what I really want to do is, of course, there are so many nuances, and every treatment is highly individual and every body is different. We as Reiki practitioners are different. But what I really want to do is I want to take the hesitance, the fear, am I really good enough? Can I really do it? Am I professional enough? This is what I want to take out of the treatment, to really just go to the absolute basics of what constitute a really successful Reiki treatment. And I was rather cheeky saying how to give the best Reiki treatment possible. How to give I think I named it how to give the perfect Reiki treatment. Well, there is no such thing as only one way to a perfect Reiki treatment. Reiki is always Reiki, and Reiki is perfect. And no matter how clumsy we are when we give a treatment, Reiki will still work, and Reiki will still bring incredible experiences. So this is really just more about being a bit more professional in the Reiki treatments, and of course make them more kind of widely, professionally, medically, socially acceptable. But ultimately, it's all about Reiki. And as long as somebody had a Reiki attunement, and when I talk about Reiki, I talk about the system founded by Mikao Usui in 1922. This is what worldwide is seen as Reiki, as the standard of Reiki. So as long as people have a lineage going back to Mikao Usui, this is Reiki, and you can give Reiki treatments. Most people would probably argue that for a professional treatment, for a treatment where people pay for, that the practitioner should be trained in Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. And I would agree that this would probably more meet the expectations. But even after the first Reiki course, even after the first day of the first Reiki course, we can already give Reiki treatments. And of course, in the courses, with all the feedback, we get this constant confirmation that this really works. But how do we give the perfect Reiki treatment? First of all, we need to prepare. We need to prepare two things. We need to prepare the room, and we need to prepare ourselves. And with regards to the room, I mean, I have given Reiki treatments, I don't know, on a park bench, on the beach, on a train, anywhere and everywhere, in public spaces, and of course at my home, rarely in a professional place. So it's perfectly acceptable to do it in your home. It is more comfortable and looks more professional if the client lies on a treatment couch rather than on your sofa or your bed. But as long as they are comfortable, everything is okay. That's the key. They need to be comfortable. Of course, they never need to take off any clothes apart from shoes and overcoat. So this makes Reiki also very safe for the recipient. They don't need to worry about their body. They don't need to worry about touch on the naked skin. It is absolutely okay to stay fully clothed. And it's even more exciting because then people think, oh, wow, I can feel something even though I have got this thick jumper on and I'm covered with a blanket. So yes, this is basically all we need just to make sure that people are comfortable, that they can safely get on and off the treatment couch or wherever we place them. Of course, we can also give somebody a treatment when they are seated. So they can just sit in a chair, in an armchair, wherever they are comfortable. And sometimes if people find it difficult getting on and off a treatment couch, so they might even be in a wheelchair, it is more comfortable and absolutely okay to be seated as a recipient. What's also really important, and I think that is something we need to carefully remind ourselves of before we give a treatment, that we as Reiki practitioners are comfortable while we give the treatment. Whether it's 15 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, of course, we need to be in a comfortable position. We need to be able to relax. We need to be able to stand comfortably or to sit down. So my advice is always, if at some stage during the treatment you are not comfortable as the practitioner, just gently lift your hands, get up, get a chair or a cushion or something like that, and then come back. That's perfectly fine. You will very likely feel the flow of Reiki more strongly once you are really relaxed and comfortable. And how do we prepare ourselves? Do we need to be in a certain space when we are stressed, when we are worried, when we've got pain or problems ourselves? Can we give a Reiki treatment? Yes, absolutely. In fact, Reiki is coming through us, and then we are giving it to the client as well. We are facilitating the treatment, but we are getting Reiki at the same time. So very likely we will feel better after the treatment as well, even though we didn't feel we were in a particularly good place beforehand. Some people do some energy cleansing. In Japanese, the technique is called Ken Yokoho, dry brushing, dry bathing, just brushing with the hands through the aura. That's what some people do. It's helpful, but not necessary. Some people recite the Reiki principles beforehand. So this is another way to get into the space. But of course, intention ultimately is really enough. What I often do is I do just one little exercise, and I'm sure I've shared it before, probably quite a few times. I like it so much. I do that every day, but I love doing that before a Reiki treatment. So I would just to invite you for a moment to see how that works. It's really just opening our multi-dimensional ability to connect to Reiki and to bring it in all levels of our being. So I would just like to show that for a moment. So when you're ready, just bring the hands together in front of your heart chakra and close your eyes and connect to Reiki. And then just feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself being in the body and just feel that Reiki fills your entire body. Reiki for our physical being and physical healing. And then bring your awareness to your third eye, the brow chakra, and focus on that and open your third eye, the level of guidance and intuition and spiritual connection. Then bring your awareness to your heart and open your heart and feel the love and connection. This is where we are giving the treatment from our heart. And then bring your awareness to your crown chakra and feel your connection with the universe, with the source of Reiki. And just stay in this space for a moment. And then come back into the here and now. For me, this is a perfect way to prepare for a Reiki treatment, and then we can get started. But I kind of forgot something now. I'm so in the flow that, of course, I forgot when a client arrives, we have a little conversation. If we don't know them well, we need to just make them identifiable for insurance purposes. So we need their name and address and an email and a contact telephone number. And that's basically it. Of course, we need to ask why they're here. if they have any expectations, if they have any physical problems. And of course, this will then influence how we give the treatment. And if they have a particular area of concern, area of pain, then of course we will focus on that area during the treatment. I also ask whether people are on prescriptive medication. It's not a problem. We can, without any problems, give a Reiki treatment. But if people get regular Reiki treatments, they may find that their condition improves so much that they do not need the level of medication that they're on anymore. I find that particularly important for diabetics because often they take too much insulin. If they get Reiki regularly, this may be reduced, but that is a decision or even a suggestion we can never make as a Reiki practitioner. We need to recommend to the client to see their medical professional and to discuss with them and to just double check that everything is still as it should be. And I also explain that there is, Reiki can be given hands-on or hands-off. So it is their choice. Interestingly, in my experience, the vast majority of clients for Reiki treatments are very happy with a hands-on treatment. But of course, we would never, ever, under any circumstances, place our hands anywhere inappropriate. Any personal areas, the pelvic area, ladies' breasts. So absolutely not the buttocks. We would always keep the hands away from the body in these positions and then place them on the next position again on the body. And I also tend to, well, I don't really want to call it trying to manage expectations, but I do explain that people may often feel energy, sensations like warmth or cold. They may get some ideas in their mind. They may just kind of move suddenly. That's all absolutely normal. Sometimes people can get very emotional during a treatment. That is absolutely fine as well. I ask the clients to let me know if it's getting too intense, and then I can move to the next position or just lift the hands. But I also say it is not necessary to feel anything during a treatment. And also with regards to expectations in terms of pain or any conditions they have, we cannot guarantee a certain outcome. Maybe more than one treatment is necessary, and maybe it takes a while for Reiki really to kick in. So I just really ask people to simply relax and to be open to what happens during the treatment. And then they can just close their eyes and relax. And we then just connect to Reiki and start with the treatment. And of course, again, there are different ways to give a treatment. You may have learned a set sequence of hand positions, so you can follow this sequence. But I tend to find that over time, we sense areas where Reiki is needed. So we go from hand position to hand position. And when the sensation is stronger, this is, of course, where we stay longer. In my experience, the longer people have been using Reiki, the more confident they are to maybe in an hour's treatment only go to 2 or 3 different hand positions and really stay like 20 minutes or longer in one hand position, being confident, following their intuition that this is where Reiki is needed. Of course, you can also gently scan the body, just move along the body and see where you feel drawn to, or you can simply ask Reiki where to place the hands. This technique is called Reiki Ho, guided by spirit, and I do that in so many variations now, but the original idea is to just connect to Reiki, place your hands in front of your heart chakra and ask, where shall I place my hands? And then move up to your third eye and just see what comes into your mind. So you see an image of a knee and you go to the knee, you see an image of the eyes, or you hear the word eyes and you go there. Just follow your intuition. And over time, I tend to find that really develops for a practitioner. But of course, Reiki treatments can never go wrong, even if we are a bit insecure or we don't really want to go where we feel we should be going because we feel it's uncomfortable or we are not sure about it. So Reiki will go where it's needed anyway. And I'm sure we all have had this experience that we place the hands in one area, but the person feels it somewhere else. And then all we need to do is trust. Somebody once said, Reiki is doing by non-doing. So we are facilitating the treatment. We are placing our hands. We are listening in. We are sensing in. But ultimately, we are just witnessing Reiki at work. And then after the treatment, we just finish smoothing down the body, just above the body, through the aura, just 3 gentle sweeps to just really clear the energy field of any kind of energy that's been released, that's been moved, and that should be cleared. And this is basically the treatment. It is simple. And every treatment is different and every treatment is exciting. And the excitement often then for the practitioner very much is when we get the feedback. And so often we get very detailed feedback. Often people say also they're just relaxed, which is perfectly fine. People may fall asleep. But also sometimes people ask, why did I see green? Why did I have an image of something? Why did this memory come up? I tend to first give this question back and say, so how did you feel when you saw green? And I can guarantee in 90% of cases, people know the answers already. They might say, well, I actually feel I'm far too much indoors. I need to spend more time in nature, and I somehow felt pulled to do this now. Well, this is the answer. Maybe they say, well, my parents had this funny idea of painting my bedroom bright green when I was 10 years old. So it might have brought them back to their childhood, to a childhood memory. Again, somebody may have seen a tree. Is that the tree where they played during their childhood? Is that a tree that is in their garden? Or is that a tree they've never seen? Maybe in a week's time, they probably see, they suddenly see the tree. So it was some kind of foresight. We don't always need to know exactly why people saw or sensed something. Sometimes we have an answer, sometimes we don't. But often I find the answer comes after a while. So don't feel too pressured to answer every question. Just accept Reiki has been working and make sure. And I think that is really important to check in with them the following week and see how they have been since the treatment. So often Reiki carries on working, and even people may not feel much during a treatment, but then the next day they feel a lot and they realize that their condition has improved, or they are more energetic or feel more positive. So it always, in my experience, brings something like that, but not always straight away. And this, for me, is pretty much what constitutes a perfect Reiki treatment. Just a very simple Reiki treatment, and see what happens. And be prepared for some amazing surprises. But of course, we can also give each other a treatment in a group. And this is so exciting. Last week, when I was teaching the course, there was a lady who said she just couldn't believe it. She was catching up with the YouTube show, but quite a while later. And then she tuned into the Reiki Share and she could still feel it. Reiki is beyond time and space, as we know from giving or sending Reiki distant treatments. But we always also set the intention for this Reiki share that everybody is included who is here live during the live broadcast, or who will join in at a later stage in a replay. So the intention is there, and the intention is all we need to make Reiki work. And so I would really very warmly like to invite you to join everybody in this Reiki share who is here now and who is watching in a replay. And I'd just like to ask you to bring your hands together and to connect to Reiki. And if you've learned Reiki 2, you can use the distant stroke connection symbol and really feel a very deep connection with everybody. Then just open your hands, feel your connection with everybody. Just lean back and close your eyes. Let Reiki flow and feel Reiki flowing from everybody towards you. I feel sometimes it's helpful to really remind ourselves of the peace we are feeling in Reiki Share, of the flow of energy through our hands, just really being completely in this amazing space of love, connection, and healing. And then you can bring your hands back together, take a moment to thank Reiki, and come back into the here and now. And of course, Reiki will continue to work, and you can continue just to stay in the space and give yourself Reiki if you wish. And well, yes, I'm so pleased. There are quite a few more people today, so that's really, really exciting. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here, for making this wonderful community. And I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday with a topic I do not know yet. We will see. We will see. But I've got the feeling it will also be somewhere in this region of giving treatments, what can be treated, different illnesses. So I've got the feeling it will be around the ideas of what can be treated with Reiki, who can be treated with Reiki, are there any contraindications, are there any exceptions, and so on, just to also have some more confidence for our regular practice. And thank you so much. I recognize so many names there that say hello. So I'm really, really pleased and excited. Have a wonderful rest of the Tuesday. And I look forward, now I just need to find the right button. I look so forward to seeing you again next week. There are also lots of little video clips on social media that you may come across here and there. And we have got a lot going on in London. So if you are somewhere in or around London, please make sure to join us for our live events. See you next week.